Hey Ebenezer, Pastor Cal here with our midweek moment. This past week I was watching on YouTube, I believe it was, some old episodes of Pawn Stars, the pawn shop store coming out of Las Vegas. This particular episode, a lady brought in a piece of jewelry that she found really gaudy and she didn't like it at all. She just wanted to get a few bucks for it. So she brought it in and Rick, the owner, took a look at it and asked her, after examining it, what do you want to do with this? And she said, I'd like to sell it. So Rick asked her, how much do you want for it? And she said, $2,000, thinking that would be a fair and reasonable amount. Well, Rick looked at her and said, I'd love to give you $2,000 for it, but I can't. Of course, she thought it was going to be worth much less, and she was getting a much lower number. But then Rick continued and he said, I can't because I have a conscience. This is worth way more than $2,000, and offered her $15,000 for it, assuming then that piece of jewelry that she had that she didn't want anything to do with was probably worth closer to $25,000 or $30,000. Now this Sunday, we're going to continue our series through the Gospel of Mark, which we titled Amazing Grace. And we're going to be looking at Mark chapter 5. It's a long chapter, and we're not going to read through the whole thing, but I want us to notice that there are three stories of healing in Mark chapter 5. And we're going to take a look at all three. But how we want to tie this all together is I want to ask you a question as a kind of a primer to get ready for Sunday. And the question is this: what is the gospel? Now, I know we have our kind of regular answers to that question, like the gospel is the good news, it's the good news of Jesus Christ, and so on. But I want you to think more deeply about it. When I ask you the question, what comes to your mind? What is the gospel? You see, too often I think we limit our understanding of the fullness of the gospel. We make it much less valuable than it really is, similar to that piece of jewelry. And I want us to see through these episodes of healing that the gospel is perhaps much greater and much more valuable than what we actually think it might be. So read ahead, Mark chapter 5. We're going to look at these three healings and hopefully get a better understanding of how great and how amazing the gospel of Jesus Christ is. And I hope then you not only appreciate it more, but you're going to want to share it more with those who are around you. A reminder that we have our three services at 8:30, 10, and 11:30, and we look forward to seeing you on Sunday, whether in the building or online. Have a great rest of the week.